Hello everyone, it's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint here. Sorry I haven't posted a video for a while, but I promise I'll compensate by posting a really badass one today. And we're opening the Dark Duel Stories sealed video game from Game Boy Color. And the special thing about this game, if you don't already know, is that it includes the Holy Grail, Blue Eyes, White Dragon, along with Dark Magician and Exodia. So this is the rarer of the two renditions of this game that you can find. And it costs currently anywhere about $1,500 to $2,000. The game itself isn't very expensive. It's the cards that are expensive. That's why it costs so much. If you go on eBay, you'll find out that the Blue Eyes White Dragon is the bulk of that cost, costing around over $1,000 very easily in mint to gem mint condition. And this one, as you can see, has already been opened, and the reason is because I opened it yesterday on my live stream on Instagram. So go ahead and follow me. I am the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint on Instagram. No spaces, just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint. So this is the game. The cards have already been opened. And these are the cards that I pulled. So these are guaranteed in every single box. As you can see, with Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, Exodia. This I consider to be the Holy Grail of Yu-Gi-Oh! Collecting. Some might disagree with me and might say, oh, you know, it's the other Blue Eyes that should be the Holy Grail. The one from LOB, from Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is the first pack, not the one from the video game. I would disagree, and I would say it's this Blue Eyes that should be considered the Holy Grail because it's the original artwork in prismatic rare, released only in the video game, also released essentially in the same month as the one from Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon. So it's very, very much in the same category of rarity, and it's just, I mean, it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous looking card. The only secret or prismatic rare of the original artwork to ever be released, and as you can see, it's totally gorgeous. So, without further ado, I do have for you guys today another box sealed. This one is sealed, and we will be opening it here for YouTube for the first time for people to check out. Now, I already opened one. This is the second one that I'm opening, and some people will disagree with my decision to open it, but it is what it is. I am going to do it. I've already committed myself to that. Now, the reason I'm walking away is because I'm trying to find something to open it with. I can't find my trusty little Swiss knife for some reason. That's alright. I'll use a pencil. That should do. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and dig in, and obviously we're going to try to open the cards carefully. That's all that matters, is that the cards come out safe. So, nice little incision right there. We're going to go in. And there we go. We're making it in. Alright. And so the cards come in a silver pack. And I just gotta be really careful. As careful as possible here. Because these cards are extremely expensive. There it is. That's the sealed pack. You guys. That includes the DDS 001, 002, and 003. Together worth at least $1,500 currently in mint gem mint condition, and they are quite something, I must say. I'm going to use scissors to open this and try not to cut the head off of Blue Eyes in the process. Now you might be wondering, why am I opening this? Is it just for views on YouTube? No. I was just going to live stream both of the openings, but I figured I might as well do one for YouTube since I haven't posted a video in a while. The real reason I'm opening them is I'm hoping that I could get a pristine Blue Eyes White Dragon from one of these two boxes. I've gotten PSA 10s, but PSA 10, as you might know, is gem mint, not pristine. I'd like to get one that's a pristine. That's a really high task. It's a big challenge to get a pristine. So I'm not expecting to get one. I'm expecting probably gem mint. Most likely that's what will occur. But I will take that chance nonetheless. The risk is well worth it in my opinion. And let's dig in. So we're gonna work backwards, alright? So we're gonna go ahead with Exodia first. Alright, now as you can see, these cards are printed with really good quality. There is some hollow foil bleed here. So right there, if you see these white specks, that's the hollow foil coming out on the back. It's showing itself. So the card back surface has degraded a little bit from either the humidity or just old age. Because these were released in 2002. So this is actually a fairly common phenomenon. It is on the Exodia, so I'm glad not the blue eyes that we're talking about yet. So hopefully we don't see it on the blue eyes. So the Exodia is worth about currently around $200 as a gem mint card. But what we really care about is the blue eyes. However, the next card is the Dark Magician, and that one is not mincemeat either. It's worth about $500 as a gem mint. I don't see, actually I do, oh, I see quite a fair bit of holofoil bleed here. So yeah, you see, it's quite common, isn't it? The last box that I opened didn't have any of that. So, but otherwise, the cards are in really great condition, pristine, I would say, otherwise. The centering is not perfect, but it's pretty good. This one has a little bit of a speck, I think. Maybe I can wipe it off later. Put that in a sleeve. And of course, now the Holy Grail is to be revealed, and that is the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And of course, I'm very nervous as I do this, and my hands are sweaty. My palms are sweaty, and let me see my composure. Let's see how composed I am. Huh, actually, I'm fairly composed. That's pretty good. But yesterday I was freaking out as I was opening the box live. As you can imagine, the condition of the card inside can mean the difference between, you know, an $800 card versus a $1,500 card versus a $2,000. So we're talking like hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars in terms of difference depending on the condition. Because some people will pay a very high premium if the card is totally perfect in every way. That's just how it is in collecting. People love perfection, and they'll pay a very high premium for perfection. So, and the highest you can get in terms of perfection is the black label from BGS, meaning that all four subcategories of the grading process have achieved a 10 pristine. So let's go ahead and pull this out. The fact that those two already had those hollow foil bleeds on the back surfaces does give me doubt about this. I'm not very happy to have seen that, and I'm hoping that the blue eyes will not have it, but at this point it seems like it's likely that it will. So let's go ahead and find out. So it actually looks like, for some really weird reason, there is no freaking holofoil bleed on the back surface of the blue eyes. Alright, so the Dark Magician and the Exodia have that holofoil bleed, but the blue eyes does not. However, on the back surface, you can see the blue eyes from top to bottom is a tad off center. And by the way, what that means is just that the top edge here, which is orangish, is a little thicker than the bottom edge here, which is orangish. Now, you might think that's totally nonsensical and it doesn't matter, totally trivial. But when it comes to grading a card professionally, it does matter. So here is the Holy Grail. You guys, the front centering is actually quite good on this one. So this is easily a gem mint card. So I will probably break even on having opened this box if I get these graded and I get them as PSA 10s, right? So I didn't make any profit, but I didn't lose anything either. I'm not sure if the Dark Magician will get a PSA 10, but in any case, even if it gets a 9, I'll probably still break even. But you know, it's a risk I was willing to take. It was a fun process. Hopefully, maybe educational for those of you Yu-Gi-Oh collectors out there. This is, I believe, the only video on YouTube which showcases the actual opening of one of these boxes. So I hope you all enjoyed it. This is a piece of Yu-Gi-Oh history, 2002 Dark Duel Stories sealed video game from Game Boy Color, featuring what I would consider Holy Grail of Yu-Gi-Oh collecting: the Blue Eyes White Dragon, Prismatic, Secret Rare, the DDS 001, and then the Dark Magician and Exodia, which are far less valuable, but still the Dark Magician, I would say, commands a fairly high value. So thank you for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and this has been the Yu-Gi-Oh! Mint out.